The productivity trap, why you work hard to avoid your life, and the 5-step emotional fix. You're not lazy, you're busy on the wrong problem. Working harder can be the sneakiest way to avoid your life because busyness numbs the emotions you don't want to feel. That productive burnout? It's often shame in a nice outfit. Today I'll show you the emotional engine under compulsive productivity and give you a 5-step fix you can start today. We'll expose the mistake that makes burnout feel like progress and the reframe that stops shame spirals fast. If you've tried time hacks and still feel behind, this is why. Let's get into the first unlock so you feel this, not just hear it. Why productivity becomes emotional avoidance. Here's the uncomfortable truth. A lot of grind is just anxiety with a calendar. When shame whispers, "You're behind," your nervous system wants relief now. Doing something, anything, gives a quick hit of safety. Inbox zero, color-coded tasks, jumping into meetings you weren't needed in, each one buys a few minutes of "I'm okay." But relief isn't the same as progress. Busy doesn't equal safe, it equals delayed feelings. You're pressing snooze on shame. The problem is that snooze resets the alarm louder. You finish a flurry of easy work, look up, the real task still stares back and the shame is bigger. Now it says, "You avoided again." The avoidance loop: trigger right arrow, hustle right arrow, brief relief right arrow, bigger shame. Something pokes your worth, feedback, a deadline, a messy draft. Your body surges, tight chest, shallow breath, urge to move. You hustle into low-risk tasks, reply, sort, research, schedule. Relief comes. Then the clock jumps, the scary thing remains, and shame compounds. See, still not done. Spike, relief, repeat. Why it's compelling: urgency feels like importance in your body. Your threat system tags whatever's quickest as good. That's the confusion. Urgency masquerades as importance. It is. Self-check to break the trance. If I stopped right now, what feeling shows up? If it's dread, shame, fear, or emptiness, you're likely in the loop. If it's momentum tied to a clear outcome, keep going. Real example: you sit to draft the proposal that moves your career. A pulse of what if it's bad? You open email to clear noise. 45 minutes vanish, the proposal is untouched. It feels productive, it's avoidance. Most people attack the calendar, not the emotion. They install apps, reorganize Notion, build templates. But the engine is shame, anxiety, and the fear that stopping means feeling worthless. Repainting the car won't fix a broken axle. Bottom line, your productivity problem is nervous system math. When threat rises, choice shrinks. When choice shrinks, you default to fast relief. That relief looks like productivity and mortgages your future for a hit now. Quick win: before any app, 2 breaths, ask the question, name the feeling with a simple label. You're already interrupting the loop. Common mistakes: research as postponement, helping others to dodge your priorities, calendar stuffing to feel worthy. Optics look great. Outcomes don't ship. Micro story: a client moved her team support block after 15 minutes of messy strategy. Same hours, different arc. Relief after progress, not instead of it. Once you see the loop, you need a map that calms threat and restores choice. That's the 5-step emotional fix. Name, normalize, notice, negotiate, next micro step. We'll break them down so you can use them under pressure. The 5-step emotional fix overview. When emotions surge, willpower snaps. Structure beats force. That's why this method is 5 moves you can run in under a minute. Name, normalize, notice, negotiate, next micro step. Think of it like moving from alarm to choice. First, you lower threat. Then, you choose the smallest honest action. Simple on purpose, because your brain won't load complex menus when it's in fight-flight. Here's the shape. Step 1, name. You label what's actually here: sad, mad, scared, ashamed, lonely, tired. Close enough counts. Step 2, normalize. You remove the moral judgment. Of course I feel X given Y, that halves the spike. Step 3, notice. Feel without fixing for about a minute so the wave can move through. Step 4, negotiate. Talk with the part that wants to avoid and make a workable pact. Scope, safety, stop time. Step 5, next micro step. Pick an action under 60 seconds so momentum is inevitable. The thing most people miss: this isn't a productivity trick. It's a threat reduction protocol that restores choice. The reason it works is that shame and anxiety shrink your options. When you name and normalize, you de-escalate the system, consistent with affect labeling research showing reduced amygdala activation and increased prefrontal regulation. When you notice, you metabolize the chemistry instead of recycling it with thoughts. Emotion waves typically subside if not re-triggered. When you negotiate, you align with protective parts instead of fighting them, a practical nod to parts-based models. And when you take a micro step, you teach your nervous system, we can move while feeling. That rewires the loop. Let me give you the 1-minute version for busy days. You feel the urge to flee, you pause for 2 breaths, you whisper, I'm noticing shame and fear. You add, of course, there's a deadline and I care. You set a 90-second timer, feel the sensations without fixing. Then you say, a part of me wants to hide, a part wants progress. Here's the deal, 12 minutes, ugly first pass, then break. Finally, you anchor a tiny start. Open doc, write the terrible title. That's it. Threat down, choice up, action started. Now a warning, don't turn these 5 steps into another checklist you can fail. The goal isn't perfect form, it's a workable reset when you're spun up. If you miss a step, improvise. If you're pressed for time, compress it. 2 breaths and any 1 step will help. We'll break each step down so you can use it under pressure and actually feel the shift rather than just understand it. Once you nail this, everything else in your day gets easier because the fight isn't inside you anymore. Step 1, name. Label the real emotion. Here, why naming matters. Unnamed emotions hijack behavior. If you don't know what you're feeling, your nervous system makes choices for you, usually fast relief over meaningful action. Naming pulls the experience out of the fog and gives you a handle. It reduces the unknown, which reduces threat. Studies on affect labeling show that putting feelings into words dampens amygdala activity and engages prefrontal regions that support regulation. The benefit is immediate. You'll feel a notch more space to choose rather than react. And on days when you're sprinting, that notch is gold. What are we naming? Keep it simple. Use a small palette: sad, mad, scared, ashamed, lonely, tired. You can add excited or relieved if they show up, but fewer choices help under pressure. The temptation is to reach for stressed or overwhelmed, but those are blends. Go for the flavor underneath. I'm ashamed I'm behind. I'm scared of the feedback. I'm lonely in this role. When you call it what it is, your system stops scanning for invisible threats and settles. How do you do it fast? 10-second body scan, then an I'm noticing sentence. Body first, because your body is honest before your brain catches up. Scan from brow to belly. Tight jaw, hot cheeks, hollow stomach, heavy chest, any pulsing or buzzing, then give it words like you're a sportscaster. I'm noticing heat in my face and a drop in my stomach feels like shame and fear. If that's too much, even I'm noticing a lot right now starts the shift. But the more specific, the bigger the relief. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Use an emotion ladder. Guess close enough and move on. If shame feels too sharp, say embarrassed. If you can't find sad, try disappointed. Your nervous system doesn't grade vocabulary, it responds to recognition. Relief counts, not precision. Over time, you'll get finer grained, but you don't need perfect labels to see the benefit. Now here's where most people mess up. They analyze causes too early. They jump straight to, why do I always do this? Or, it's because my manager said X. Analysis spikes threat again. The job at this step is not to understand the entire history. It's to reduce the unknown by giving today's feeling a name. Another common mistake is hunting for the perfect label. You don't need to win Scrabble, you need to create a little breathing room. Let me show you exactly how this sounds. You're about to open the draft. You feel your chest tight. You say, I'm noticing tightness, holding my breath, scared and a bit ashamed. That alone takes the edge off. Then, of course I feel scared, I care about this. You haven't fixed anything, but you've moved from something's wrong to this is fear and shame. Different game. This clicked for me when I noticed the difference between I'm stressed and I'm ashamed I'm late. Stressed kept me in motion without direction. Ashamed let me see the story. If I'm late, I'm unworthy. Then I could work with that story instead of letting it steer me. The thing most people miss is that your inner critic often speaks the loudest when there's something you value at stake. Naming the emotion reveals the value underneath, which can be a source of energy once the threat drops. Practical application. Before opening any app, do a 2-breath label. Breath in slow through the nose, out slow through the mouth. Then say, I'm noticing, and pick from the 6. If nothing pops, default to tired or scared. Those 2 drive a ton of avoidance. If you label and feel nothing shift, add a body cue. Place a hand on your chest or the back of your neck as you say it. That tactile anchor often increases accuracy. Common mistakes to avoid. Don't mix naming with screens. If you're scrolling while labeling, you'll end up narrating the feed, not your feelings. Don't escalate with judgment. I shouldn't be scared. That doubles the load. And don't turn this into an identity. I am ashamed. Use I'm noticing shame. That subtle wording keeps you separate from the state, which preserves choice. One more example. You've got a scary email to send. You keep tweaking the greeting. Pause. I'm noticing fluttery stomach, cool hands, scared and lonely. The lonely shows you're craving reassurance. You can normalize that in step 2 and then design your micro step to include a quick review from a trusted peer. Naming made the need visible. A quick win you can use today, the 2-breath label before every app open for the next hour. You'll build the reflex while the stakes are low. It takes seconds and pays off fast. If you want to stack it, keep the 6-word list on a sticky note. Sad, mad, scared, ashamed, lonely, tired. Glance, pick, move on. Once you can name it, you've started to lead your system instead of being dragged by it. But to really lower the spike, you've got to make it safe to feel. That's where normalizing comes in. We're going to remove the moral judgment so the shame can't use your values against you. Then, we'll let the wave pass without trying to fix. And suddenly, the scary work stops feeling like a cliff and starts feeling like a small, doable hill. Step 2, normalize. Remove the moral judgment. Now that you've named it, we have to make it safe to feel. Shame doubles pain by sneaking in moral judgment. Feeling scared means I'm weak. Normalize strips that judgment. When you remove the moral tag, your nervous system stops treating emotion as a threat. The benefit is huge. Lower spike, clearer thinking, more room to choose the next honest action. The thing most people miss is you can validate the feeling without endorsing avoidance. It makes sense I feel dread before this call is not the same as so I won't do the call. You're saying, my body's alarm is understandable, not the alarm decides. That distinction is everything. Here's the simple move, universalize the emotion in context. Of course I feel X given Y, plug it in. Of course I feel ashamed, I care and I'm late. Of course I feel scared, the stakes are real and I want to do well. Your brain hears of course and relaxes. Threat drops because you've framed the feeling as a normal nervous system response, not a personal failure. Let me give you compassionate scripts you can borrow. Of course I feel pressure. I'm doing something new. Of course there's shame. I value reliability and I missed a mark. Of course fear shows up. Feedback can sting and I care about respect. Of course I'm tired. I've been holding a lot. Say them out loud if you can. Hearing your own voice matters. If out loud is awkward, whisper. If even that feels big, write it once on a sticky note and point to it when the wave rises. The goal is to make normalization automatic. Why this works, your brain is scanning for am I safe? Moral judgment answers, no, because I'm bad for feeling this. Normalization answers, yes, because this feeling fits the moment. That halves the spike. Then your prefrontal cortex comes back online enough to choose. You're not trying to think your way out of feelings. You're giving your feelings a safe container so they can move. Okay, so the tricky part is avoiding 2 common errors. One is toxic positivity. It's fine, I'm amazing, no fear here. Your body knows when you're gaslighting it. That increases stress because you're adding denial on top of discomfort. The other is overlogic too soon. Statistically, failure probability is 12%. Facts can help later, but early logic often dismisses your actual state. Normalize first, then reason. A quick example, deadline fear is a normal nervous system response. You've got time pressure, uncertainty, social evaluation. That's a threat cocktail. Your sympathetic system will spike. Nothing's wrong with you. When you say, of course there's adrenaline, my body is trying to help, you stop fighting the surge. Then the surge settles faster. Let me show you exactly how to run this in the wild. You're about to share a draft with your team. You've already named, I'm noticing shame and fear. Now normalize. Of course I feel this, it's a first pass and I care about their view. Add a kindness line. Feeling this means I'm invested, not broken. Take one slow exhale, that's it. You've reduced the moral heat. The shortcut nobody teaches, borrow a peer voice. Imagine someone you respect saying, anyone in your shoes would feel this. That external frame can bypass your inner critic. Or use a template bracelet, say the same 2-line normalized script every time. Consistency trains your system to expect safety. Micro story. A student I coach used to spiral before presentations. He'd name fear, then immediately judge it. I shouldn't feel this, I'm not prepared. We swapped in. Of course I feel fear, public speaking is exposure. Within a week, he reported the spike dropped from a 9 to a 5 before he even opened his slides. Same skills, less internal fight. Now here's where most people mess up after normalization. They confuse acceptance with agreement. Acceptance is this is here. Agreement is this should run me. We want the first, not the second. Normalize to lower threat, then move into noticing the sensations so the chemistry clears. If you jump from naming straight to fixing, you'll keep the loop alive. Practical application. Keep a normalizing sticky near your workstation. Right. Of course I feel X, Y is true. Leave blanks. When a wave hits, fill them. Of course I feel ashamed, I missed the window. Of course I feel lonely, I've been soloing this. Say it, breathe once, then proceed. It's a 10-second practice that pays off all day. A few more compassionate scripts you can test. Fear means I care, not that I can't. Shame is information, not identity. Tired is a status, not a verdict. This is a human body doing human things. If you remember nothing else from this step, remove the moral charge, and the feeling stops trying to prove itself by getting louder. Then, and only then, are you ready to feel it without fixing so it can pass. That's step 3. We'll let the wave rise, crest, and fall, and you'll watch your capacity come back online. Step 3, notice, feel without fixing. Now that you've named and normalized, we shift to pure noticing. Why bother? Because feelings metabolize when they're felt, not solved. When you try to outthink a surge, you accidentally feed it more thoughts, which restarts the cycle. When you let your body run its natural process, the chemistry peaks and falls, and your capacity returns. The real-world impact. Shorter meltdowns, cleaner starts, fewer I lost the day spirals. Here's the core idea, the 90-second wave. When an emotion fires, your body releases a cocktail, adrenaline, cortisol, all the usual suspects. If you don't re-trigger it with more story, that wave rises, crests, and falls in roughly a minute or so. The 90 seconds framing popularized by Jill Bolt Taylor is a useful heuristic. Real-world waves can be shorter or longer, but the principle holds. If you stop refueling with narrative, the chemistry subsides. So the practice is to feel the raw sensations without fueling them with interpretation. It's not about being stoic, it's about being precise. What does noticing look like? 3 anchors. Breath, contact points, peripheral vision. Breath, slow, low, nasal if you can, longer exhale than inhale. You're signaling safety. Contact points, notice where your body meets the chair, your feet on the floor, your hands on your thighs. Peripheral vision, soften your gaze and widen your view. A broad visual field dials down threat. Those 3 settle your system without trying to erase the feeling. Let me show you exactly how. Set a 90-second timer. Sit back, eyes open or gently closed. Anchor to breath for 2 cycles. Then scan sensations like a curious journalist. Heat in the face, tightness in the throat, buzzing in the arms, heaviness in the chest. Say, let it be ugly. No fixing, no optimizing posture, no self-talk about why it's happening. Just, this is the wave. When the timer ends, exhale and notice what's different, even 5% counts. The thing most people miss is that noticing isn't rumination. Rumination is thinking about feeling. Noticing is feeling the feeling directly in the body without commentary. If your mind starts narrating, that's fine. Gently return to one of the anchors. Breath, contact, periphery. You're training attention, not winning a meditation trophy. Common mistakes to avoid. 1. Mixing noticing with screens. If your eyes are on email, you're fueling the story and jolting your nervous system with micro-threats. Screens off for 90 seconds. 2. Trying to calm yourself with logic during the wave. Reasoning comes back after. 3. Bracing against the sensation. Bracing quietly says, this is dangerous, which spikes it. Soften the belly and jaw, let it move. Practical application during work. Before deep work, run one song as a body check. 3 minutes, same anchors. You'll catch residue from the last meeting and clear it before you start. Midday, if you feel flooded, do the 90-second version instead of doom scrolling. End of day, a 60-second scan helps you leave work at work. These reps build tolerance so high-stakes moments don't own you. Micro story. A student I coached used to tip into 20-minute panic cycles before exams. We dropped in the 90-second wave with the 3 anchors and a strict no-story rule. Within 2 weeks, his spikes cut in half. He wasn't less invested, he was less captive. He told me, it still hits, but it passes before I do something dumb. That's the win. Shortcut for busy days, pair the wave with a phrase. On inhale, this is a wave. On exhale, it will pass. Repeat until the timer ends. The structure keeps you from wandering into analysis. If you need a tactile anchor, press your thumb and forefinger together lightly during the peak. That single point of contact can steady you. Why this works? The reason isn't mystical. By shifting attention to raw sensation and steady inputs, you reduce cognitive fueling of the threat loop, which lets the sympathetic surge complete. Your prefrontal cortex gets more oxygen and you regain choice. You're not deleting emotion, you're letting your biology do its job. Now you might be thinking, what if it doesn't pass? Two things. First, check if you're secretly adding story, replay, prediction, self-judgment. If yes, return to anchors. Second, if the intensity stays high, shorten the window and stack another round later. You're building capacity, not proving toughness. A quick win, run one 90-second wave before your next scary start. Timer on, 3 anchors, let it be ugly. When it ends, immediately move to a tiny action, open the doc, write one bad line. That pairing teaches your system, we can feel and move. It's the bridge to step 4, where we negotiate with the part that was trying to protect you by avoiding. Once the wave eases, that conversation gets a lot easier. Step 4, negotiate. Work with the avoidant part. Now that the wave has eased, this is where we talk to the part that's been running the show. Not to bully it, to partner with it. Why? Because the inner critic, the procrastinator, the perfectionist, these are protectors. Their intention is safety, even if their methods are rough. This aligns with parts-informed approaches that view these impulses as protective strategies rather than defects. If you fight them, they double down. If you work with them, they relax enough to let you move. Here's the frame that changed this for me. A part of me is scared, another part wants progress. That sentence does 2 things. It honors the fear and it keeps your identity bigger than the feeling. You're not a procrastinator. You have a protective part that procrastinates to keep you from shame, rejection, or disappointment. And you have a striving part that wants your values lived. Both exist. Both can talk. Let me show you exactly how to start the conversation. You've named and normalized you felt the wave. Now quietly say, hey protector, I get why you're here. You're trying to spare me from pain. Thank you. Pause, that appreciation is not corny, it's disarming. Then add, we need progress too. Can we make a deal? You're shifting from threats to terms. The game changer nobody talks about is the 3-offer pact. Safety, scope, stop time. You negotiate each one with the avoidant part so it can agree without panic. Safety, you guarantee conditions that lower risk. That could be privacy, permission to be messy, a draft that won't be shared, or a friend's quick review before anyone else sees it. You literally say, I'll keep this first pass private. Or, we'll hide the doc title bar if that helps. Or, we'll ask Sam for a 2-minute glance before sending. Scope, you shrink the target. Perfectionist parts hate open-ended tasks, so define a tiny end state. 1 ugly outline, 3 bullet points. First paragraph only, sketch, not polish. You're telling the protector, we are not making a masterpiece. We're putting clay on the wheel. Stop time, you cap the effort. Open loops terrify avoidant parts. Promise a short, clear window, 12 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 max. Then commit to reassess. Not we'll grind until it's flawless. We'll do a slice, then check in. Put it together into a script you can actually say, a part of me is scared, another part wants progress. Here's the deal, 15 minutes only. Keep it messy. First pass stays private. After the timer, we reassess. Say it out loud. If the fear spikes at any clause, adjust the clause until the spike drops. You're aiming for an honest yes, not bravado. Now here S where most people mess up. They negotiate with threats, do it or we're a failure. That's gasoline on the fire. Or they do all or nothing deals. Either we finish the whole thing or we don't start. Those collapse under pressure. Good pacts are specific, boring, and kind. Think a union contract, not a pep talk. Example in the wild. You've got a perfectionist part blocking you from publishing a post. Try, safety, draft in a sandbox doc. Scope, title intro, and 1 subhead only. Stop time, 18 minutes. Then we decide if we want a second round. The part might still protest. What if it's bad? You answer. It will be bad. That's allowed at V1. Nobody sees it yet. That answer respects the protector's job and gives it a clear role: guard the boundary, not the start. This clicked for a client who hadn't shipped anything for months. We wrote the pact before opening her editor. 4 sentences, ugly on purpose, private doc, 12 minutes. She laughed because it felt too small. That laugh was the unlock. She wrote 6 sentences, stopped on time, and for the first time in weeks, didn't end the session in a shame spiral. The next day, we ran it again, and day 3, she asked her protector for a tiny raise. Can we do 20 minutes? The protector agreed because trust was building. Let me give you a quick diagnostic. If the part still refuses, one of the 3 offers isn't safe enough. Tweak: more privacy, smaller scope, shorter time. Sometimes you need to front-load safety. Turn off comments, close Slack, silence notifications, put your phone in another room. Tell the part, I'll make it hard to be judged for 15 minutes. That's often enough to get a yes. Another tactic: write the pact. Literally type or handwrite. Deal for 11/10/11/25. Safety: private scratch file. Scope: outline 3 points. Stop time: hard stop at 11:25. Signature: me plus protector. It sounds silly, but formalizing makes the inner system take it seriously. You're creating internal accountability without violence. Common mistakes: don't negotiate while the wave is still peaking, you'll bargain from panic. Run step 3 first. Don't add hidden clauses like, and secretly we'll keep going if it's flowing. That breaks trust. Stop on time. You can always make a new pact after a breath. One more example. A manager dreads starting a performance review. Protector says, you'll say it wrong. Pact: safety, practice script out loud alone. Scope: rehearse the first 2 sentences 5 times. Stop time: 10 minutes. After that, reassess. He did it, felt the edge soften, then booked the meeting. Small wins compounding. Quick win: before your next scary task, write a 3-offer pact on a sticky note. Read it, set the timer, start. If you do nothing else today, do that once. You'll feel the shift from fighting yourself to leading yourself. And once the deal's in place, we move to step 5. Give your brain the smallest possible win. That's where momentum snaps into place. Step 5, next micro step. Make it ridiculously doable. Deal made, now we cash it in with motion your nervous system can't refuse. Why micro steps? Because tiny actions break the fear circuit. When you start small enough, the avoidant part relaxes, dopamine nudges you forward, and momentum becomes probable instead of heroic. The benefit is immediate. You move, you get data, and the shame voice loses oxygen. Here's the what: shrink the start to under 60 seconds. Not work on the proposal. Open the doc, not write the outline. Type the title. If 60 seconds still spikes you, go smaller, 10 seconds counts. The goal is crossing the action threshold with zero debate. This echoes implementation intention research, if-then, planning, and the effectiveness of tiny habits that reduce initiation friction. Let me give you the 3 S's that make this automatic. Start with a verb. Open write list, sketch, paste, send. State a location. In DocX on line 1, on slide 2, in Jira ticket 14. Set a timer, 60 seconds. The cap turns a cliff into a curb. Put it together. Open proposal Q3 in Google Docs. Write a terrible working title, 60 seconds. That's a micro step. It's specific, visible, and finishable. When you finish, you can add another, but you don't have to. The power is that completion happened. Shortcut for busy brains: build an action menu for your top 3 scary projects. 3 pre-written micro steps per project. When threat rises, you don't invent, you pick. For example, project performance review. Open the template, paste employee name, 30 seconds. Write the first sentence badly, 60 seconds. Highlight 3 wins in last quarter's notes, 60 seconds. Project sales proposal. Duplicate last proposal, rename file with client, 20 seconds. Paste client problem statement from brief, 40 seconds. Draft 1 bullet with messy benefit, 60 seconds. Project thesis chapter. Open chapter 3, type placeholder subhead, 20 seconds. Paste 3 citations, 40 seconds. Write 1 ugly connecting sentence, 60 seconds. Now here S where most people mess up: vague starts and hidden multi-steps. Research options is not a micro step, it's a fog bank. Open 3 tabs and paste URLs into the doc, 60 seconds is concrete. Record video hides scripting, lighting, and setup. Strip it. Open camera app, check framing, 45 seconds. If you catch yourself writing and you've probably bundled, split it. Let me show you exactly how to generate a micro step under pressure. Ask, what's the first non-thinking motion? Often it's opening a file, placing a cursor, or typing a label. If your brain answers with a concept, push for a keystroke. Decide on structure becomes write 3 section names, any order. Find references becomes paste 2 URLs I already know. If you truly don't know, microstep the discovery. Search inbox for client brief, 45 seconds. The thing most people miss is that micro steps are not about speed, they're about certainty. You want actions you can complete even if your confidence is at 0. Completion builds credibility with your protector. Credibility buys bigger scope tomorrow. Example in the wild, you're dreading a difficult email. Micro-step sequence, open drafts folder, 15 seconds. Type, hey name, I want to be direct, 60 seconds. Add 1 bullet of the main point, 60 seconds. Stop, you didn't send, you proved you can start. Next pact can include a review and send window. A quick diagnostic for when a micro-step still feels sticky. Check the 3 S's. Is the verb concrete? Is the location unambiguous? Is the timer short enough? If yes and it's still sticky, add safety from step 4. Private scratch file, no send. Many times it's the exposure, not the action, that's spiking you. Common mistakes, stacking micro steps into marathons. 2 in a row is fine, 5 becomes a hidden sprint. Also, don't upgrade mid-flow without a fresh pact. It's working, let's just keep going for an hour breaks trust. Better, finish the 60 seconds, breathe, renegotiate another 3-5 minutes if you've got capacity. This clicked for a creator who hadn't posted in months. We wrote her first micro step as Open Notes app, write 1 bad sentence about why it's hard, 45 seconds. She did it, laughed, and naturally typed a second sentence. We chained 2 micro steps and stopped while it was working. The next day, she posted a V1 draft. The win wasn't the post. It was restoring the I can start identity. Practical application. Before your next scary start, write 3 candidate micro steps using the 3 S's, pick the easiest one, set a 60-second timer, and do it. If you finish early, stop anyway. Ending on a win teaches your system that starts are safe. If you want to stack it, chain 2 and stop. Why this works? You're narrowing the action channel until resistance can't fit through. Each finished micro step gives you a small dopamine bump and proof of agency. Over days, that compounds into momentum without white-knuckling. Quick win today. Create an action menu for one project, right now, with 3 micro steps. When we shift into daily integration, you'll plug these into checkpoints so the starts happen automatically. Daily integration, the 6 checkpoints that keep you honest. You've got the method, now we make it automatic. Consistency beats intensity, so we'll stitch name, normalize, notice, negotiate, and next into your day with 6 tiny checkpoints. Each one takes under a minute, most take 10 seconds. Think trigger pairing. Attach the step to something you already do, coffee, calendar, commute, lunch, shutdown, and evening wind down. Your brain loves routines that piggyback. Checkpoint 1, morning feel first check. Before you touch a screen, hands on mug, 2 breaths, run the 3-line journal. Name, normalize next. I'm noticing tired and a bit ashamed. Of course, short sleep and a backlog. Next, open DocX, write 1 bad line, 60 seconds. That's it. You've lowered threat and chosen a micro start before the day starts choosing you. If you're slammed, whisper the same sequence while the kettle boils. Close enough counts. Checkpoint 2, calendar load in. When you open your calendar, scan for 1 scary block. Don't move it, anchor it. Write a pact right on the event description. Safety, private first pass. Scope, 3 bullets. Stop time, 12 minutes. Add your first micro step at the top of the event notes with the 3 S's. This prevents midday self-bargaining and turns that calendar square into a ready-to-run lane, not a vague cliff. Checkpoint 3, pre-inbox 30-second gate. Before email or Slack, pause, 2 breaths, ask, if I stopped right now, what feeling shows up? Name it, normalize it. If it's avoidance energy, run 1 micro step on your priority first, 60 seconds, then open inbox. You'll invert the usual pattern, progress before noise. Put a sticky on your monitor, 1 ugly line before inbox. It sounds small, it flips your day. Checkpoint 4, midday reset. After lunch or your first bathroom break afternoon, do a 60-90 second wave. Breath, contact points, peripheral vision. No screens, then renegotiate your next tiny move. Ask, what would make the afternoon honest? Write a fresh pact if needed. This keeps the morning's residue from bleeding into your afternoon and stops the "I lost the day" story at halftime. Checkpoint 5, help others honesty check. Before you say yes to someone's request, run the test. Would I do this if nobody saw it? If the answer is no, it might be avoidance wearing generosity. That doesn't mean you ignore people. It means you decide from values, not shame. If you still choose yes, set a scope and stop time so it doesn't eat your own priorities. You'll help cleaner and resent less. Checkpoint 6, shutdown ritual. Final 5 minutes. Mark what was honest, not just what was finished. Tally process, not outcomes. Sessions started, minutes present, micro steps done. 3 green dots beats 1 3-hour sprint because dots are starts. Then write a tiny handoff to tomorrow. Name Normalize next. I'm noticing fatigue and pride. Of course, big day. Next, open slide deck, paste 1 stat, 60 seconds. Close the laptop. You've contained the day. Trigger pairing makes these run on their own. Tie checkpoint 1 to coffee, 2 to calendar open, 3 to inbox icon, 4 to lunch return, 5 to any outbound sure message, 6 to the last calendar ding. If a trigger slips, don't compensate with a marathon. Do 1 step and move on. Momentum likes mercy. Shortcut, the 3-line journal page taped near your workspace, 3 blanks labeled name Normalize next. Fill it once in the morning, once at shutdown. If you travel, keep a pocket card. Low-tech wins when stress is high. Common mistakes to avoid, adding 20 habits at once. Start with 2 checkpoints this week, morning feel first and shutdown. Next week layer pre-inbox. Week 3, add midday reset. Another trap, skipping the practice when you're behind. That's the exact moment to do the shortest version. 2 breaths plus any 1 step still lowers threat. Example of a 30-second checkpoint before opening email, you hover over the icon. I'm noticing dread. Of course, 2 unanswered threads. Timer 60 seconds. Open doc queue, type terrible title. Ding, stop, now inbox, you just protected your values in half a minute. If you want extra structure, set 2 mini alarms titled reset at 11, 30, and 3:00. When they ping, run a 60-second wave and write 1 micro step in your notes. Alarms aren't to nag, they're to interrupt the trance. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's staying honest. These checkpoints keep you with yourself while you work, which is the opposite of avoidance. You'll feel more present, ship more meaningful work, and end the day with less numbness and more quiet. Common traps, how productivity masquerades as progress. Now let's talk about the traps that look like work, but quietly feed avoidance. Once you can spot these, you'll stop donating your best hours to optics and start routing them to outcomes. Trap 1, research loops that avoid decisions. You tell yourself you're getting informed, but really you're buffering against the discomfort of choosing. The thing most people miss is that research has no natural stop, decisions do. If you notice you're collecting 10th opinions after the 3rd credible source, you're not learning, you're delaying. Fix, cap inputs up front. 3 sources, 1 page of notes, then decide. Pair it with a micro step. Write a 1-sentence choice and 1 reason, 60 seconds. If fear spikes, negotiate safety. Decision V1 stands for today, I can revisit Friday. That restores choice without pretending certainty. Trap 2, dopamine cleaning, organizing to dodge outcomes. Color coding, folder feng shui, renaming files, it feels righteous, and your brain rewards tidy visuals. But organizing without a clear finish line is a way to feel control when the work feels risky. The game changer nobody talks about is to tie any organizing to a deliverable. I can reorder slides only after I paste 1 new stat. Or, I can tweak my tags for 5 minutes after I write 3 bullets. If the urge to tidy arrives first, run name Normalize, then drop a micro step that moves the project forward before you touch aesthetics. Functional before pretty. Trap 3, helping others to avoid your own task. This one is sneaky because it looks generous and gets praise. But if your yes always lands right before your most important block, you're outsourcing your avoidance. Use the would I do this if nobody saw it? Test. If the answer is no, pause. You can still help, just negotiate scope and timing. I can give you 10 minutes at 3 p.m. for the first 2 questions. Or, yes, after I do 12 minutes on my draft. You'll notice your resentment drop, because you're not rescuing to dodge your own edge. Trap 4, calendar stuffing to feel worthy. Back-to-back blocks, zero margins, heroic optics. It gives the illusion of importance and steals the space you need to feel and choose. Remember, when threat rises, choice shrinks. A packed schedule is an engineered threat. Fix, create white space anchors. 2 15-minute choice blocks per day where the only aim is name, normalize next. Also, rewrite event titles with verbs and scopes. Work on strategy becomes draft 3 bullets for cue 3 risks. If an event can't be scoped, it's probably a mirage. A quick reality check. Optics often get rewarded. That's why these traps persist. But optics don't ship outcomes. So we need process rules that protect substance without fighting the system. Try this, 1 invisible win per day. Do 1 block that nobody sees but you, align to your values, then track it with a green dot. It inoculates you against performative work. Common mistake across all traps, moving the furniture when the house is on fire. Tools, templates, new workflows, these can help, but not as step 1. Step 1 is name and normalize the discomfort driving the trap. Then notice for 90 seconds. Then negotiate a tiny scope. Only then adjust the tool if it still matters. Order matters because threat reduction precedes clear choice. Let me give you a simple avoidance audit you can run weekly. Open your calendar and sent items. Mark in yellow anything that collected more inputs than needed. Organized without producing. Helped others at the expense of your priority. Filled time without a scoped verb. Then pick 1 recurring instance and design a pre-commit pact for next week. If I research X, I stop at 3 sources. If I clean a board, I paste 1 new task first. If I get a help ping, I check my priority pact before replying. 10 minutes, huge leverage. Micro story, a manager kept preparing for a board update by redesigning slides. We ran the audit, saw 5 hours of slide polish and 0 new narrative. New rule, no design before 1 paragraph of story. First week, she wrote 2 paragraphs, kept old slides, and the update landed better. She felt less fried because the work matched the outcome. Quick win you can use today. Choose 1 trap you recognize most. Write a single if then for it and tape it to your monitor. If I open a new tab to research, then I decide after 3 sources. If I feel the urge to tidy, then I do 1 60-second project action first. If I'm about to say yes, then I check, would I do this if nobody saw it? Small constraint, big honesty. You'll slip and that's normal. These traps are well rehearsed. When it happens, don't pile shame on top. We'll use a 10-minute reset that forgives fast, focuses what matters, and finishes small to reopen momentum. That way, a stumble stays a stumble, not a story. The 10-minute reset for relapses. You will slip. Everyone does. The danger isn't the lapse, it's the shame story that turns a 5-minute detour into a lost afternoon. Burnout loves the script. I blew it, so why bother? The reset breaks that script in 3 parts. Forgive, focus, finish small. 10 minutes tops, we're reopening momentum, not paying penance. Part 1, forgive, 2 sentences, out loud if possible. I forgive myself for slipping, I'm human. I'm choosing the next honest step now. That's it. You're not negotiating with the past. You're removing the moral charge so your nervous system stops punishing you with more avoidance. Part 2, focus. Pick 1 thing that matters in the next hour. Not your whole backlog, 1 thread that if moved by 1 inch would make today honest again. Run name and normalize quickly to drop the spike. I'm noticing shame and dread. Of course I feel that, I care and I drifted. Then write a microscopic pact, safety, scope, stop time, you've restored terms. Part 3, finish small. 1 under 60-second action that proves we're back. The bar is tiny on purpose. We're rebuilding credibility with the part that panicked. Let me show you exactly how to run the clock. Minute 1, stand up, 1 slow inhale, exhale, say the 2-sentence forgiveness script. If you can, place a hand on your chest. Physical cue, new chapter. Minute 1-3, name and normalize. I'm noticing tight chest shame. Of course, 20 minutes doom scrolling. No extra narrative, you're lowering threat, not crafting a memoir. Minute 3-5, negotiate a 3-offer packed around 1 priority thread. Safety, private first pass. Scope, 3 bullets. Stop time, 3 minutes. Read it once. Minute 5-6, write the next micro step using the 3 S's. Open Doc X, type terrible title, 60 seconds. Timer on. Minute 6-7, do it. No heroics, stop when it dings. Minute 7-8, optional second micro step if there's breath. Paste one stat, 60 seconds. If not, skip. The win already happened. Minute 8-9, mark a green dot. Process, not performance. Note one sentence, reset at 2:14, one ugly line done. Minute 9-10, close eyes for one exhale. Ask, what's the next honest 3-5 minutes? Make a tiny follow-up pact or return to your plan. Common mistakes here, compensatory marathons after a lapse. I wasted 20 minutes, so now I owe 2 hours. That's shame disguised as discipline. It backfires because you'll either resent it and quit or white-knuckle through and reinforce that work equals punishment. Keep the reset small. Another mistake, bargaining away safety. If you got derailed by social media, don't run your reset next to your phone. Add friction, airplane mode for 10 minutes, full screen document, notifications off. Example, you drift into news for 25 minutes. Old script, I'm hopeless, then more scrolling. Reset script, I forgive myself, I'm human, I'm choosing the next honest step now. Name normalize, shame and fear, of course big headline. Packed safety, private scratch pad. Scope 2 bullets. Stop time 3 minutes. Micro step, open scratch pad, write one bad bullet 60 seconds. Do it, green dot. Back to your calendar with a tiny win in your body, not just in your head. Another use case, after a heated Slack thread. Forgive, name normalize. Pact, draft reply offline, first sentence only 2 minutes. Micro step, then wait 5 minutes before sending. You'll protect relationships and your attention. Remember, the reset is not a productivity trick. It's a shame circuit breaker. When you practice it, bad moments stop becoming bad days. That's how momentum survives real life. Emotional fitness, weekly practices that raise your tolerance. Here's the big why. Your capacity to feel is your capacity to act. If hard feelings knock you off course, you'll keep building elaborate ways to dodge them. But if you raise your tolerance, on purpose, avoidance loses its leverage. You stop needing perfect conditions to do honest work. That shifts everything from I can only work when I feel good to I can work while I feel. The thing most people miss is that tolerance doesn't grow from thinking about feelings. It grows from dosing them in manageable amounts. That's exposure, but done thoughtfully. Instead of throwing yourself into the deep end, you take sips of discomfort that stretch you without snapping you. Over weeks, your system learns, we can feel this and stay okay. Let me give you a simple exposure ladder. Pick one discomfort that regularly hijacks your work. Silence, messy first drafts, being seen before you're ready, saying no, asking for clarity, delivering feedback. Rank versions of that discomfort from easiest to hardest. Then plan one small dose per week, not a heroic overhaul. You're building calluses, not scars. Practice 1, the 20-minute honest work block with no optics. Once a week, do work that matters with zero audience or polish. No screenshots, no status updates, no pretty boards, just you, a timer, and the next micro step. The rule is, it doesn't have to look good, it has to be real. This trains your brain to decouple progress from performative proof. The benefit? Your nervous system stops sprinting for praise and starts trusting quiet effort. Practice 2, the solitude walk. 15 to 20 minutes, no phone, no podcasts, no agenda. Name, normalize, and notice as you walk. Let boredom, awkwardness, or sadness surface without fixing. Why this works? You're practicing being with yourself, which removes the need to constantly anesthetize with inputs. If the mind spins, pair steps with the mantra, lower threat, raise choice. You'll come back steadier and less reactive. Practice 3, uncomfortable conversations. Once a week, have one honest micro conversation you've been avoiding, ask for a clearer deadline, give one piece of specific feedback, make a tiny ask for help, or say no with scope. Negotiate safety and scope just like we did with tasks. One topic, 5 minutes, kind and direct, then stop. You'll expand your tolerance for exposure, which is often the real fear under productivity. Practice 4, radical honesty reps with yourself. 10 minutes, pen and paper. Write the sentence stem, the thing I don't want to admit about X is, and finish it 5 times. No fixing, no judging. Then normalize. Of course I feel that, here's the context. This clears the static that fuels avoidance and gives you one precise next move. Practice 5, the recovery block. Discomfort training without recovery is just stress. Schedule a weekly downshift that actually restores, nap, stretch, bath, reading, light chores in silence, time with a friend who doesn't measure you. The rule is no optics, no outcomes. You're teaching your system safety on purpose so it doesn't need to steal it with numbing. Now here's where most people mess up: overexposure. They pick the scariest conversation, aim for an hour, and blow a fuse. Or they stack 4 practices in one day, then declare the method broken. Start tiny. Dose discomfort you can digest, then recover. If a rep spikes you above a 7 out of 10, cut the dose in half next time. Let me lay out a weekly rhythm you can steal. Monday, schedule your 20-minute honest work block on the calendar with a written pact. Tuesday, solitude walk after lunch. Wednesday, 1 uncomfortable micro-conversation with clear scope. Thursday, 10-minute radical honesty journaling. Friday, recovery block before shutdown. That's 5 small moves that steadily raise tolerance without wrecking you. Micro story. A client hid behind more research for months. We built a ladder. Week 1, write a private 1-paragraph take. Week 2, share it with 1 peer. Week 3, post an ugly draft in a small channel. Week 4, present 3 bullets in a meeting. He reported his baseline anxiety dropped by half because his system learned being seen at V1 doesn't kill me. Output doubled, but more importantly, dread didn't run his day. Quick win you can try this week. Schedule 1 nothing to prove session. Title it exactly that. Packed, safety, private scratch file. Scope, 3 bullets ugly. Stop time, 20 minutes. Then reward with a real recovery block. You'll feel the difference between pressure-fueled productivity and presence-fueled progress. Remember, the goal isn't to like discomfort. It's to carry it without collapsing or compensating with avoidance. Dose it, recover, repeat. That's emotional fitness. And as your tolerance rises, the steps you've learned, name, normalize, notice, negotiate next, get easier because the waves don't feel like riptides. Sometimes it's not just you, though. The environment can make avoidance effortless. So let's design your context to make presence the path of least resistance. Environment design. Make avoidance hard, presence easy. Sometimes it's not your willpower, it's the room. Context beats force. If your environment keeps dangling easy escapes and burying starts, your brain will take the off-ramps. So we're going to rig the space and the tech so presence feels frictionless and avoidance feels annoying. Small tweaks, big leverage. Here's the why. Your attention system is lazy on purpose. It follows the shortest path to relief. If Slack pings, tabs glitter, and your phone glows, the shortest path is out. If 1 tap equals focus, 1 glance shows the next micro step, and your exits are buried, the shortest path is in. You don't need monk discipline, you need smart defaults. What does this look like? Friction up on escapes, friction down on starts. Make distractions cost 2 or 3 steps. Make next actions cost 0 or 1. That's it. Let me show you exactly how. First, 1-tap focus mode. Build a preset that hides notifications, blocks your top 3 escape sites, and opens only what matters. On Mac, Focus plus an automation to launch your editor and close chat. On Windows, Focus Assist plus a batch file. On your phone, a focus mode that hides social apps from the home screen during work blocks. Name it Honest Work. When you hit it, your world shrinks to the lane you chose. 1 tap in, 1 tap out. Second, a single task desktop. 1 workspace, 1 project. Close everything else. Keep only 3 things visible: your document, your 3-line name, Normalize, next note, and the timer. Dock or minimize the rest. If you need reference, split view. Left is source, right is draft. No stacks of windows. Your eyes should know where to land without hunting. Third, prep the night before. This is the first move station. Before you log off, cue tomorrow's smallest step. Open the file you'll start with, place the cursor at the exact spot, type a placeholder title like Ugly V1, and write the first micro step in the doc header. Lay out physical tools, notebook open to a fresh page, pen uncapped, headphones ready. When you sit down, you're not deciding, you're sliding. Now here's the shortcut. Build a dedicated first move zone, a literal spot on your desk or a virtual folder that always contains the next start for your top 3 projects. Only starts live there. No storage, no archives. You finish a micro step, you load the next one in that zone before you leave. It becomes muscle memory. Sit, reach for first move, go. This is environment design in action. Reducing steps to begin and adding friction to escape increases follow-through without relying on willpower. Let's talk friction up on escapes. Uninstall 1 app you used to numb. If that's too bold, bury it. Move it off your home screen into a folder named Later. Log out of the web version so it asks for a password. Add a site blocker with a hard schedule for your danger hours. Yes, you can override, but the extra steps are enough to wake you up and ask, do I want this or am I avoiding? Notifications, default off, not on. Keep only critical alerts, calendar start, emergency calls, maybe a single team channel. Everything else goes to batch. Your brain can't filter constant novelty and stay calm. Give it silence by default, signals by design. For your workspace, aim for functional minimalism. This isn't about aesthetics, it's about removing decision points. One pen you like, one notebook, one lamp with a warm setting, one chair that doesn't ache. Your body is part of the environment. If your shoulders tense in your chair, your brain will seek relief. If your lighting screams midday at 10 p.m., your system won't downshift. Comfort is focused tech. Okay, so the tricky part is not turning environment design into dopamine cleaning. If you're spending an hour choosing a font for your to-do list, you're avoiding. Rule: changes must either remove an escape or reduce a start to one step. If they don't, it's decor. Decor is fine, but not during work time. Quick example of a functional change: set your browser to open to a blank page, not news. Pin only the tabs that serve the current project. Everything else closes at shutdown. Create a deep work Chrome profile that has no bookmarks bar and no extensions except your blocker and docs. Separate profiles are like rooms for your brain. Another, create a start line shortcut on your desktop that opens 3 things: your top project doc, your 3-line journal, and your timer. One double click, you're in the lane, no rummaging. If you share space, negotiate signals. Headphones on equals not available. A sticky note with a clock icon means back at 2:30. Reduce social ambiguity so you're not bracing against interruptions. If you can't control others, control your boundaries. Close doors, face the wall, pick hours for deep work, and guard them with a focus mode. Now a quick win while you're here: uninstall one escape app. Right now. Or, if that feels like too much, log out and move it to the second screen. Then set up one honest work, focus mode that hides it. You'll feel the difference the next time you reach for it and find a speed bump instead of a slide. Remember, the goal isn't a perfect setup. It's a kind setup that makes your best choice the easiest one. When your space and tech say, "This way," your nervous system stops wasting energy fighting your tools. You'll start more, stop cleaner, and spend less time wrestling with impulse. And because you'll want proof this works, next we'll track the right metrics without feeding the shame loop. Tracking without obsessing, metrics that don't fuel shame. You'll want proof this works, but we're not turning your day into a scoreboard. Numbers can help or harm. The goal is to track process signals that reinforce starts and presence, not outcomes that trigger comparison and shame. When you track the right things, your brain sees evidence of agency and keeps choosing honest work. What do we track? 3 process metrics: sessions started, minutes present, and micro steps done. Sessions started are any focused attempts with a packed-in timer, whether 60 seconds or 20 minutes. Minutes present are the minutes you spend inside those packs without fleeing to escape routes. Micro steps done are the finishable actions using the 3 S's. These are binary: started or not, present or not, done or not. No judgment about quality. Focusing on process metrics reduces shame and supports consistent behavior change. Why these work? They measure choices, not optics. You can't control when a client replies or whether a draft sings today. You can control whether you start, stay, and complete tiny moves. That builds a feedback loop that trains your nervous system. Starts are safe, presence is possible. How to implement without obsessing? Use a simple green dot system. Keep a small card on your desk with 3 rows: starts, present, minutes, micro steps. Each day, cap the max dots you can earn. For example, 3 dots for starts, 3 for presence blocks, 3 for micro steps, 1 dot per unit. Hit the dot, draw it, stop counting. Scarcity prevents chasing metrics for dopamine. Run a weekly review, not daily judgment. Once a week, glance at the card stack. Ask 3 questions. Did I start on most days? Did I protect presence at least once per day? Which micro steps moved real projects? Then choose one tweak for the coming week: better packed scopes, a cleaner environment nudge, or a tighter pre-inbox gate. That's it. No hour-long analytics. Common mistakes to avoid. Outcome obsession. Measuring words written, emails sent, likes, revenue, those are lagging and loaded. They matter, but looking daily fuels shame. Put them in a monthly or quarterly check, not your daily loop. Streak worship. Long streaks feel motivating until life breaks them and your brain collapses. Use streaks of 3. Aim for 3 green dots today. If you miss a day, the reset lives tomorrow. Process over perfection. Example, 3 green dots, 1 start, 1 presence block, 1 micro step, beats a single 3-hour sprint that leaves you fried and avoidant tomorrow. Consistency compounds, heroics crash. Let me show you exactly how to tally. End of day, look at your packed log. If you ran any packed and started, dot the starts row. If you had 10 or more minutes present across any packed, dot the present minutes row. If you completed at least 2 micro steps, dot the micro steps row. 9 dots is a perfect day, 5 to 7 is strong, 3 is minimum viable progress. All are wins if they were honest. If you prefer digital, create a tiny note titled Dots with 3 checkboxes, or use a calendar emoji code. S for start, P for presence, M for micro step. Keep it boring. The more aesthetic, the more likely it morphs into dopamine cleaning. Quick win, make a tally card now. 3 rows, 3 boxes each. Put it under your keyboard. Tonight, earn 1 dot by doing a single 60-second micro step. Then close. You've started a tracking habit that fuels progress without feeding shame. Case studies, 3 profiles, 1 method. Let me make this reel with 3 quick profiles. Different roles, same method. Profile A, the perfectionist creator. She made gorgeous starts and never shipped. Weeks of refining thumbnails, 0 posts. The thing most people miss about perfectionism is it's a protector that equates exposure with danger. We ran name, normalize, notice, negotiate next. She named shame and fear, normalized. Of course, being seen matters. 90-second wave. Then we negotiated a V1 pact, safety, private sandbox, scope, title, intro, 1 subhead, stop time, 18 minutes. Next micro step, open draft, type ugly title, 60 seconds. She ended day 1 with 6 bad sentences and stopped on time. Day 2, same pact, she asked her protector for a tiny raise, 20 minutes. By week 2, she published V1 ugly drafts twice. What changed wasn't talent, it was moral heat dropping and scope shrinking. She tracked process, 3 green dots beat 1 heroic binge, and that kept shame from hijacking momentum. Mistakes she avoided, no all-or-nothing deals, no secret marathons because it was flowing. She stopped on time, which built trust with the part that used to slam the brakes. Profile B, the anxious manager. Great with people, crushed by weekend work. His trap was helping others to dodge his priority. We installed the 6 checkpoints, especially the pre-inbox gate and help others honesty check. Before Slack, he ran name Normalize next for 30 seconds and did 1 60-second micro step on his own deliverable. Then he opened messages. He used the would I do this if nobody saw it? Test on every favor. If yes, he helped with scope and stop time. If not, he said, I can give you 10 minutes at 3 after I do a 12-minute pass on my draft. He also used the 10-minute reset after derailments, 2-sentence forgiveness, tiny pact, 1 micro step. Within 2 weeks, weekend work dropped because weekday starts were real and favors had boundaries. He told me, I'm less resentful and more present in one-on-ones. The thing he did right, normalized fear before reasoning, then negotiated conditions instead of willpower. Common mistake he skipped, compensatory marathons to make up for a lapse. He kept resets small and frequent. Profile C, the high achiever student. Straight A mind, decision minimalism, problem, too many options, frozen starts. We reframed productivity as emotional management. Morning checkpoint, 3-line journal with name Normalize next, then a decision menu. He pre-wrote action menus for his top 3 courses, 3 micro steps each, under 60 seconds with verbs, locations, timers. When threat rose, he picked, not pondered. He layered environment design. Single task desktop, 1-tap focus profile called Study Lane, browser opens to blank, research capped at 3 sources before a 1-sentence claim. He tracked process, starts present minutes micro steps. In weekly reviews he asked, which micro steps moved real chapters? He also practiced 1 weekly honest work block with no optics, no screenshots, no group chat updates. Output didn't just increase, his study felt less brittle. He said, my spikes still come, but they're shorter, and I don't need 3 hours to start. Mistakes avoided. Endless outlining disguised as progress, streak worship that collapsed when travel hit. Across all 3, the pattern holds. They normalized fear instead of moralizing it, then negotiated scope, safety, and stop time before stepping into a micro-action. They used noticing to let chemistry pass before bargaining. They designed their environment so starts were one tap and escapes had friction. And they tracked process, not optics, green dots for starts, presence, and micro steps, not word counts and likes. That's why the method travels, from creator to manager to student, because it targets emotion, not tasks. Here's a quick composite script you can lift, no matter your role. I'm noticing shame and dread. Of course, being seen matters and I care. Set a 90-second timer, anchors on. Okay, protector, thank you for keeping me safe. Deal, 15 minutes messy, private first pass. After timer, reassess. Next, open docx, write a terrible title, 60 seconds. Run that once. Mark a dot. Stop. If you want a second round, make a new pact. Now if you're thinking, yeah, but my situation is unique, that's the story the avoidant part tells to keep its job. The structure flexes for context. Perfectionist? Shrink scope hard. Anxious helper? Add the honesty check before yes. Overthinker? Build action menus and cap inputs. The bones stay the same. Lower threat, raise choice, take one step. One last micro story. A client merged all of this into a weekly rhythm. Monday, honest work. Tuesday, solitude walk. Wednesday, micro convo. Thursday, radical honesty journaling. Friday, recovery. She layered 2 daily checkpoints and the pre-inbox gate. 6 weeks later, she hadn't become superhuman. She'd become consistent. That's the point. Consistency beats intensity, especially when your nervous system trusts you. Next, I'll give you the simple mental model that holds all of this in your head so you can steer in real time. It's just 3 words, and you'll use them before every start. The mental model, threat, choice, action. Here's the mental model that makes everything you've learned easy to run in real time. Threat, choice, action. When threat rises, choice shrinks. When choice shrinks, action turns into avoidance. So our job, every start, is simple. Lower threat, raise choice, take one step. Why this matters? Under threat, your brain defaults to safety behaviors, over-research, helping others, cleaning, perfection. You can't out-argue biology. You adjust the sequence. First, drop the threat. Then create choices your nervous system can say yes to, then move. Practically, it stacks like this. Lower threat with name and normalize. If needed, run a 90-second notice wave. Raise choice with a negotiation. Safety, scope, stop time. Convert choice into motion with a next micro step using the 3 S's. The thing most people miss, they try to choose while threat is high. That's when you get all or nothing plans and future promises. Don't. 2 breaths, name it, normalize it, then negotiate tiny. Let me give you a 1-line mantra you can say before any start. Lower threat, raise choice, take 1 step. If you remember nothing else, remember that. Example, you're about to open inbox and feel dread. Threat up, you whisper, I'm ashamed and tense. Of course, overdue replies. 2 breaths, quick wave. Then deal, 3 minutes, private scratch, 3 bullets. Micro step, open doc, write 1 ugly bullet, 60 seconds. Action done, now inbox. Another team meeting, you feel exposure. Threat up. Name, normalize silently, soften jaw. Choice, agree to speak 1 sentence once. Action, jot that sentence now. If you hit resistance, you skipped a layer. Go back 1 step. Threat high, notice. Choices vague, rescope. Action sticky, shrink to 10 seconds. Use the mantra before meetings, starts, and resets. Lower threat, raise choice, take 1 step. Repeat until your day matches your values. Your 14-day implementation playbook. You've got the model, now we turn it into momentum. For the next 14 days, we'll keep it stupid simple. Week 1, learn the steps and get reps. Week 2, layer habits and audits. The goal isn't perfection, it's trust. Trust comes from small promises kept daily. Week 1 is about familiarity. You'll run 1 mini cycle per day. Name, normalize, notice, negotiate next. That's it. If you do more, great, but the win is 1 honest cycle. Day 1, set the table. In your calendar, block a 15-minute honest start tomorrow morning. Create your 3-line journal card and a green dot tally card. Write your mantra somewhere you'll see it. Lower threat, raise choice, take 1 step. Quick micro step today, write 1 ugly title in a private scratch doc, 60 seconds. We want a first dot tonight. Day 2, morning feel first plus a tiny pact. Before screens, run name Normalize. Do a 90-second notice wave. Negotiate a 12-15-minute pact for one priority: safety, scope, stop time. Next micro step, 60 seconds. Stop on time. Mark a dot. Write a one-sentence handoff to tomorrow. Day 3, pre-inbox gate and action menu. Do one 60-second micro step before opening email. Then build a 3-item action menu for your top project using the 3 S's. You're removing future decision friction. Day 4, environment nudge. Set up one-tap focus and a single-task desktop for your top project. Prep a first move station for tomorrow. File open, cursor placed, micro step in the header. Run one pack today, 12 minutes. Stop. Day 5, midday reset rep. After lunch, run a 90-second notice wave, renegotiate a tiny pact, then do one micro step. End the day with a shutdown tally. Starts, present minutes, micro steps. That's your minimum viable tracking. Day 6, help others honesty check. Before you say yes, do the test. Would I do this if nobody saw it? If yes, scope it. If no, delay until after your own 12-minute pact. Keep the reset handy if you slip. Day 7, recovery and review. Light day. Do one honest 10-15-minute block, then a weekly glance. What worked? Where did threat spike? Which trap snagged you? Choose one tweak for next week. Smaller scopes, more privacy, shorter timers. Celebrate consistency, not output. Week 2 is about structure. We'll add the 6 checkpoints, the avoidance audit, and one nothing to prove session. You'll keep daily dots under control so you don't turn this into another performance trap. Day 8, add 2 checkpoints, morning feel first and shutdown ritual. Tie them to coffee and your last calendar ding. Keep the rest the same, one pact, one micro step, stop on time. Day 9, pre-inbox gate becomes standard. Sticky note, one ugly line before inbox. Also, uninstall or bury one escape app and set your focus mode to hide it during work blocks. You're raising friction on exits. Day 10, midday reset alarm. Set a tiny alarm at 11:30 and 3:00 titled reset. When it pings, 60-90 seconds notice, renegotiate one micro step, do it, stop, dots at shutdown. Day 11, nothing to prove session. Schedule a 20-minute honest work block, packed it. Private scratch, 3 bullets ugly, stop at 20. No screenshots, no updates. Then a planned recovery block, walk, stretch, quiet. You're training tolerance and restoration. Day 12, avoidance audit, 10 minutes. Scan calendar and sent items. Mark where you, over-researched, organized to dodge, help to avoid, stuff the calendar without scope. Choose one recurring trap and write a pre-commit if then. Example, if I research, then I stop at 3 sources and decide in 60 seconds. Day 13, case study plugin. Pick your profile flavor, perfectionist, anxious helper, or decision minimizer. Adjust packs accordingly. Perfectionist shrinks scope. Helper runs the honesty check before yes. Minimizer uses action menus and caps inputs. Run 2 short packs today, each 12 minutes, both with clear stop times. Day 14, grace and consolidation. Expect a wobble. Use the 10-minute reset if you slip. Do one honest pact, one micro step, and a weekly review. Decide which 2 checkpoints you'll keep as non-negotiables next week. Write a 2-line choose prove note to close the cycle. I choose one honest step daily. I close on time. Safety valves for the whole 14 days, reset days, and grace rules. If you miss a day, you're not behind, you're human. Your only job is the next honest 60 seconds. If life explodes, your minimum viable day is a single name Normalize and one micro step. That still earns a dot. Milestones to watch for. Your first ugly draft shipped publicly, not perfect but honest. Your first avoidance audit implemented. Your first week with dots on at least 5 days. Your first moment you stop on time even though it's flowing. That last one matters because it builds trust with the protector. Tomorrow gets easier. Let me give you a daily prompt you can literally copy into your notes app for the 14 days. Name Normalize. I'm noticing X of course because why? Notice, 90 seconds, breath contact peripheral. Packed, safety, scope, stop time. Next, verb plus location plus timer, less or equal to 60s. Dot, start presence micro step. Run that once every day. it will feel small. That's the point. Small is sustainable, and sustainable rewires identity. I'm someone who starts honestly, even when it's uncomfortable. One more thing, don't turn this into a streak contest. Use streaks of 3. Aim for 3 dots today. If you miss, reset tomorrow. We're building a relationship with your nervous system, not a scoreboard for your ego. Quick win right now, open your calendar, block a 15-minute honest start tomorrow, paste your pact in the description, safety, private first pass. Scope, 3 bullets. Stop time, 12 minutes. Add your first micro step, open docx, type terrible title, 60 seconds. You just made tomorrow start a slide, not a climb. You're ready? Lower threat, raise choice, take 1 step for 14 days. Then keep going, lighter and truer. Identity shift, from proving to choosing. Here's the real engine under all of this, proving versus choosing. Proving says, if I do enough, I'll be enough. Choosing says, I decide my next aligned step, then I do it. Proving ties your worth to optics, choosing ties your actions to values. If you don't shift this, every tool turns into another scoreboard. Why this matters? Worthiness chasing fuels the productivity trap. You pack the calendar, say yes to everything, polish optics, and still feel hollow. That hollowness isn't a time problem, it's an identity problem. When your value rides on outcomes and applause, your nervous system lives in threat. Threat shrinks choice, and suddenly you're back in avoidance dressed as effort. The thing most people miss is you don't have to feel worthy first. Feelings follow reps. Identity shifts by doing small, aligned actions and letting your system update. You choose, then you prove to yourself that the choice was safe. The confidence shows up later. So what does choosing look like daily? It's a tiny ritual at the edges of your day. Choose, prove. At start, I choose 1 honest step that matches my values. At finish, I close on time to honor trust with myself. That's it. 2 sentences, repeated. You're teaching your protector what enough for today feels like. Let me show you how to wire it in quickly. Morning, hand on mug, 2 breaths, name Normalize. Then say, I choose to do honest work for 25 minutes, or 12 or 5, whatever your pact is. Not I'll crush it, not I'll finally get ahead. Honest work chosen. Evening, before you shut down, tally your dots and say, I kept a promise. I'm done for today. If guilt chirps, normalize it. Of course I feel pull, I'm practicing a new way. Then close. That close is part of the identity shift. Rest is integrity, not a reward. Now you might be thinking, but my job measures results. Totally. Choosing isn't anti-results, it's the path to consistent results without self-betrayal. When you choose aligned steps and stop on time, you recover faster, show up steadier, and ship more meaningful work. The optics improve as a byproduct, not a target. Here's the shortcut nobody teaches. Rewrite success in verbs you control. Not nail the presentation, but draft 3 honest bullets and rehearse once. Not be a supportive manager, but run the pre-inbox gate and give 1 clear boundary today. Success becomes repeatable because it's based on choices you can make regardless of mood. Common mistakes while shifting identities. Waiting to feel ready. You won't. Start anyway with the smallest step. Turning choose, prove into a new pressure standard. If you miss, use the 10-minute reset and try again. Over-justifying choosing to others. You don't need a manifesto to say, I can do 10 minutes at 3. Let the consistency speak. 1 micro story. A leader who defined herself by output would overwork, then crash. We installed Choose Prove. She chose 1 honest block before inbox, then closed on time 3 days in a row. By week 2, she stopped apologizing for boundaries because her team saw steadier decisions and fewer fire drills. Her identity shifted from relentless hero to calm decider. The work got better, the hours got saner. If you remember nothing else from this section, remember this line. I choose aligned work, then I close on time. That's the crack where shame leaks out and self-respect walks in. You're not proving your worth with labor, you're expressing your values with choices. Try it tonight. 2 lines and a note. I choose to do honest work for 25 minutes tomorrow on X. I'll close when the pact ends. Say it out loud. Then tomorrow, keep that tiny promise. After a week of that, watch how your language changes from I have to I choose to. That's the identity shift that makes everything else stick. Lower threat, raise choice, take 1 step. Repeat until your days reflect your values and your work stops being a hiding place. If this clicked, Commit to the 14-day playbook you set up and run one honest cycle tomorrow morning. Then queue up my deep dive on decision minimalism to remove choice overload, and subscribe for weekly emotional fitness drills that keep you out of avoidance and in action.